So hello and welcome to Let's Talk SEO. Google just announced their latest March core update. And according to Google, and this is air quotes, it's for creators. So according to Google, this specific update is all for creators. The goal of this update is to help surface content from creators. But trust me when I tell you, there's more to this update than just meets the eye, as I'll go into in this video. So before I go ahead, just make sure to like the video, subscribe, leave a comment below if you have a question. And I have a separate video about technical SEO. So if you want to learn, I've got a whole library of videos on how to rank websites. There's right here for free on YouTube, on my channel. Let's go ahead, watch the videos and start ranking a website. There is no need to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars hiring someone to do SEO for you when you can do it yourself, especially if you're starting out and you're a small business. Regardless, the Google Core algorithm update is you get that every few months. This update comes right after December. So the last update prior to this was in December. And with that update, they probably were not telling us that it is for creators, but creators were the most impacted negatively, not positively. So there was a negative adverse effect for a lot of creators. And now Google is saying that this specific update is for creators. So before I go and dissect this, let me just read out what Google has told us in the press release, which is not a lot, but I will tell you, this is a lot for Google because this tells us exactly what we can expect. So they say, today we released the March 2025 core update from Google Search. This is a regular update designed to better surface relevant, satisfying content for searchers from all types of sites. We also continue our work to surface more content from creators through a series of improvements throughout this year. Some have already happened. Additional ones will come later. So this year, not many updates, at least not many that Google has announced. The core update is a big one because the helpful content update, or what used to be called the helpful content update, is part of the core update. And prior to the core update, I was seeing a lot of volatility. And not a lot of volatility when it comes to content size, but a lot of volatility that comes down mainly to shopping websites or e-commerce stores. A lot of the e-commerce stores that I was working with have seen like a lot of volatility in the past week or so, and that volatility, to be precise, maybe from Sunday, which was 5 days ago. So we were starting to see volatility on Sunday, and that kind of meant that, a lot of my clients were calling me. They were saying that our products are not selling as well. And when I checked, there was a lot of volatility in their in the rankings. Also, the products were showing and not showing, and so there were a lot of issues with that. But those issues have since been resolved, and they have been resolved on the day that Google announced the core update. So this is interesting. So there are two things here that you need to keep in mind. Number one is that Google is not going to try and surface content from creators. Instead, this specific update, as I've been hearing from insiders, is it's more about trying to filter out AI content or regurgitated content or low quality content. So this is part of the helpful content update, as I probably have already mentioned. So what this is these are two updates tied together, and what Google is trying to do is trying to figure out who else is ranking that has spammy content, and then hit those websites really hard. In some cases, it's going to be a manual penalty. Most cases, it's not a manual penalty. It says unless it's site reputation abuse, which I went into with the Ford website, with the Ford website that had been openly abusing their site reputation. Then Google nailed them with a manual action. Then they went in and blocked all of those parts of the site in the robots text file. Then Google kind of reinstated that website, it started ranking again. And then when we dug further on, we also found out, lo and behold, that Forbes had gone in and changed the names of their authors and their author bio. So someone watched my video on the author bio and said, you know what, we're going to give this a shot. And now all of the CBD gummies, all of those review sites, they're ranking again. Okay. So Google's penalty did absolutely nothing to harm Forbes. They were down maybe for maybe a month or so, and then now they're back up. So it's the same thing. It's the same approach over here. What Google is trying to do is trying to find AI content and kind of like demote it, or not make sure that it does not surface or not surface as well. The problem with that approach is that everyone is using AI content, as I will go into in future videos. Just about every website out there uses AI content. The problem is Google doesn't tell us that they're against AI content. They say we want helpful content. Now you can generate perfectly helpful content with AI. At least that is what some gurus tell us. But the fact is that Google now is very good at looking at patterns And I've seen a lot of my own websites that were testing with AI content don't rank as well. So if you're serious about your site, you do not want to invest in AI content. Now, if you have human written content and it's low quality, that's also going to be an issue for you. And watch my video on creating content because that is going to be where the money is at. So if you create that type of content, which I talked about in this video, which I might link over here, then that will give you a good idea of what I'm talking about and how to rank your site with content, especially if you're a content heavy site. The second most important part here is gonna be Google's overall evaluation of your website. So Google assigns a score to every website. The score is it's ambiguous, but we don't know exactly what that score is. Every website receives a quality score, and that quality score is reevaluated during every core update. So if your overall quality score of your website goes down, your rankings tank with it until the next core update when there is a reevaluation. So hopefully a lot of the sites that I'm working with are the content sites have improved their quality score and now they will start improving in ranking. In fact, I've already started to see this with some of my sites that have improved in rankings. I made a video about the previous one that has done pretty well now. It's probably doing a lot better than it was. Uh, that's doing well. A lot of the other sites that are working in content heavy sites specifically are doing very well. So if you have one of those websites, make sure the quality of your site is very good prior to these core updates because that is what Google is doing. You'll be noticing that your rankings are going down or they're fluctuating a lot during a core update. That's perfectly normal. Do not do anything to your content. Do not make any major changes to your website right now until the core update finishes rolling out, which usually takes around 2 weeks on average. Once that's done, you then do a reevaluation, re-audit your site. If you can't audit your site, hire someone like me to do it for you. My audits are affordable, around $350. I'll audit your site, tell you what's going wrong, what's going up, and you can fix it before you're penalized by an algorithm or you receive an algorithmic penalty. If you receive an algorithmic penalty, recovering becomes a lot more involved. It's a lot more expensive. So you might want to avoid an algorithmic penalty by staying ahead of the curve. And finally, do not add a whole bunch of new pages to your site because you're seeing competitors' pages ranking. So a lot of people make this mistake. They say, you know what, A, B, and C page that we had, we're not ranking as well. Google penalized those pages. That is what they think or assume, or those pages were de-indexed. But our competitors' pages are doing great, so they go ahead and copy what their competitors are doing and do the same pages in hopes that those pages will rank as well. It does not work that way. Do not take that approach. In fact, I would say you should be cutting down on content, not scaling up. A lot of the content that you publish on a content heavy site should be tailored towards your goals when it comes to ranking your main pages, not to just bring in loads and loads of traffic. So if you have a question about a core update, feel free to leave a question below. Also like and subscribe as always, and I will see you guys in the next video at the ranking.